invisible, unseen, unheard. Feeling this way in your own home, in your own family, cuts deeper than any argument or misunderstanding. Many parents silently endure this pain, watching their adult children brush past advice, dismiss their presence, or respond with indifference. It is a quiet heartache, yet a powerful one, because it challenges not only your role as a parent, but your very sense of self. Today, secrets hidden in plain sight will surface, truths that can transform a strained relationship into one of respect, understanding, and genuine connection. Patterns that have gone unnoticed, gestures that have been misread, and energies that have been misaligned will finally make sense. Ancient wisdom and modern psychology converge here, revealing why adult children sometimes fail to value the very people who raised them, and more importantly, what shifts can change everything. By the end of this video, a new perspective will emerge, one that empowers, heals, and opens doors you thought were closed forever. You will learn how subtle changes in mindset, communication, and energy can awaken recognition, gratitude, and love in your adult child, restoring balance and harmony to your relationship. These are not quick fixes, but profound truths that quietly, steadily transform connection from tension to respect. Stay with me until the end, because the final revelation carries a key that many parents never discover, yet it holds the power to change the course of your family bonds forever. Welcome, dear viewers, to Shaolin Divine Flow. Here wisdom meets everyday life, guiding you toward harmony, strength, and understanding. Subscribe now and step into a journey where every insight brings clarity and every moment spent here nurtures the bond you cherish most. Your path to a transformed relationship begins here, and it begins today. Ignore, overlooked, dismissed. These feelings echo quietly in the hearts of many parents who pour love into their children, only to sense their efforts slipping unnoticed. Advice given with care meets a shrug or a nod without meaning. Words meant to guide are met with silence or casual disregard. Simple gestures of love, a message, a phone call, a small act of help fade into the background, barely acknowledged. Gratitude seems scarce, replaced by impatience or a hurried thanks that feels empty. The sting of being undervalued is real, yet invisible to others, making it even heavier to bear. It is easy to question your worth, to wonder if love itself has lost its meaning in your family. But pause and breathe, because this is not a reflection of failure or lack of care. You are not alone. Countless loving parents face the same quiet struggle, feeling the distance between effort and recognition grow wider each day. The behavior of adult children often mirrors their own internal conflicts, unspoken pressures, or unhealed experiences, not a measure of your value. Understanding this is the first step toward reclaiming peace and clarity in your heart. Recognizing the signs, ignored advice, lack of gratitude, dismissive behavior does not make you weak, it makes you aware. Awareness opens the door to change, to shifts that realign energy and restore respect. Even in the moments when your presence seems unnoticed, the seeds of influence are still being planted. Every word spoken with patience, every act of care given without expectation, and every boundary set with love quietly shapes the connection, even if the results are not immediate. These symptoms are not a verdict, they are signals, guiding you toward insight, toward understanding, and toward a path where the invisible begins to be seen. The frustration you feel often masks a deeper truth. Your adult child's behavior rarely reflects your worth. Their dismissiveness, impatience, or lack of gratitude usually mirrors their own inner struggles, unspoken fears, unresolved tensions, or pressures they carry silently. Adult children navigate challenges you may never fully see, and sometimes their inability to show respect or appreciation is a reflection of their own confusion, stress, or unmet needs. Generational gaps add another layer. Values, communication styles, and life experiences differ vastly between your world and theirs. What feels like common sense, guidance, or love to you may come across as criticism or intrusion to them. Words intended to nurture may unintentionally trigger resistance. Misunderstandings grow quietly, shaping patterns that seem unchangeable. Communication gaps create echoes of frustration, but recognizing these gaps is empowering. Awareness shifts the focus from blame to understanding, from resentment to insight. It allows you to step back and see your child as an individual, navigating their own path rather than a reflection of your parenting success or failure. At the heart of this is a simple yet profound truth. Respect and value are responses, not automatic rights. They emerge when connection is nurtured, energy is aligned, and understanding flows both ways. When you grasp this, the emotional weight of feeling undervalued begins to lift. You begin to respond not from hurt or anger, but from clarity, patience, and deliberate intention. This awareness opens the door to subtle shifts, small changes in communication, in presence, in energy that ripple outward, influencing your child in ways words alone cannot. It is here in understanding the root cause that the first true steps toward transformation quietly begin. The secret that changes everything is simpler than most parents realize, yet it holds immense power. It is not about demanding respect, insisting on obedience, or controlling behavior. True transformation begins with a shift in approach, moving from trying to fix or correct your adult child to cultivating understanding, patience, and presence. Respect becomes the foundation, not the reward, and empathy replaces frustration as the guiding force. When you release the need to control outcomes, the energy between you changes, tension softens, walls begin to crumble, and connection starts to flow naturally. This does not mean ignoring boundaries or condoning harmful behavior. It means engaging from a place of calm authority, grounded in love and self-respect. The shift is subtle but profound. You stop arguing to be heard and start listening to truly understand. You stop proving your value and start demonstrating it through presence, patience, and consistent care. Adult children respond not to force but to energy. Your energy of quiet confidence, unwavering love, and firm but gentle boundaries. Small gestures, thoughtful words, and actions aligned with your values carry far more weight than any lecture or repeated advice. Over time, this shift transforms patterns of interaction, replacing dismissiveness with recognition, irritation with curiosity, and indifference with respect. The relationship stops revolving around conflict or proving points and begins to flow in harmony, built on mutual understanding rather than imposed authority. This approach does not yield instant results, but it plants seeds that grow steadily, subtly reshaping your connection at its core. By embracing respect over control and understanding over judgment, you unlock the hidden dynamics that have kept distance and tension in place, creating the space for transformation that many parents search for their entire lives without ever finding. The first step toward transformation begins within you. Mindset shapes energy, and energy shapes connection. Frustration, guilt, and shame act like invisible walls between you and your adult child, keeping understanding out of reach. Releasing these feelings is not easy, but it is necessary. Calm and confident energy creates a magnetic presence, drawing respect naturally rather than demanding it. Start by noticing your emotions without judgment. When irritation rises, breathe, pause, and allow yourself to center. Acknowledge the hurt, then let it go. Replace it with quiet confidence, a deep knowing that your worth is not defined by recognition or gratitude from another. Guilt and shame erode influence and cloud perception. Calmness restores clarity and authority. This shift is subtle yet powerful. When you approach interactions from a place of peace, your words carry weight without force. Your presence communicates stability, patience, and love, far more than arguments or repeated corrections ever could. Confidence rooted in self-respect radiates in subtle ways, a gentle tone, composed gestures, and steady attention that signals value without demanding it. Over time, this energy seeps into the relationship, inviting reciprocity rather than resistance. Mindset is not just about thinking differently, it is about feeling different, embodying a presence that is unwavering and centered. By transforming your internal landscape, you create a ripple effect, softening tension and opening doors that were previously closed. Every choice to respond calmly instead of reacting impulsively strengthens your influence and nurtures connection. Step by step, moment by moment, this shift reshapes not just your interactions, but the energy that underpins the entire relationship, laying the foundation for respect, understanding, and lasting change. Communication is the bridge between hearts, and how you cross it determines the quality of your connection. Too often, parents fall into the trap of giving advice before truly listening, speaking from authority rather than understanding. The first shift is simple but profound. Listen first. Hear not only the words, but the emotions behind them. Listen without planning your response, without judging, and without interrupting. When your adult child feels genuinely heard, walls begin to soften, even if they cannot yet express it openly. Listening communicates respect, patience, and presence in ways that commands or lectures never can. Once understanding takes root, speak not from authority, but from empathy. Share your perspective calmly, gently, and with awareness of their feelings. Your voice carries far more influence when it conveys care rather than correction. Avoid phrases that sound like criticism or demands, and instead use words that invite reflection and dialogue. Ask questions that encourage them to think, rather than pushing answers upon them. Over time, this method rewires interaction patterns. Arguments dissolve, tension softens, and meaningful conversations emerge where before there was only resistance. Empathetic communication also strengthens your own emotional balance. By responding with understanding instead of frustration, you protect your energy and maintain your confidence, even when faced with indifference or defensiveness. Each exchange becomes an opportunity to reinforce connection rather than widen the gap. Small shifts, a pause, a nod, a carefully chosen word, build a rhythm of dialogue that fosters respect naturally. Through listening first and speaking with empathy, you create an environment where your adult child feels valued and seen, where barriers begin to crumble, and where genuine influence emerges, quietly and powerfully, without force. This is the art of connection, and it is far more transformative than authority ever could be. Boundaries are not walls, they are signals of self-respect, clarity, and love. Setting them is not about punishment or anger. It is about showing that your time, energy, and presence matter. When adult children encounter a parent who stands firm with calm confidence, they begin to recognize the value of respect. Boundaries communicate without words. They say, "I honor myself, and I honor our relationship enough to protect it." Begin by identifying what drains your energy or causes tension, repeated interruptions, dismissive comments, or disregard for your time. Decide calmly what is acceptable and what is not. Then communicate it clearly without anger, blame, or defensiveness. For example, you might say, "I am happy to talk, but I need this time to be uninterrupted," or "I will share advice when it is asked for, because I respect your independence." These statements do not confront, they guide, they demonstrate self-worth, while keeping the door open for connection. When boundaries are set with love and consistency, they naturally cultivate respect. Adult children learn that their actions carry consequences, not as punishment, but as part of a relationship grounded in mutual understanding. Boundaries also protect your energy, allowing you to engage fully when interaction occurs, instead of responding from frustration or exhaustion. Over time, this approach shifts dynamics from tension to harmony. Respect grows quietly, seeded by clarity, consistency, and calm authority. By maintaining boundaries without anger, you model dignity and self-respect, qualities that resonate deeply even when unseen. Each firm yet gentle limit reinforces the value of your presence, shaping interactions in ways that lectures, criticism, or forced compliance never could. Boundaries become the invisible framework that supports connection, encourages appreciation, and strengthens the foundation of a relationship built on mutual recognition and care. The most powerful lessons are never spoken, they are seen. Leading by example is the quiet force that shapes influence far beyond words. When you live openly with integrity, patience, and self-respect, your actions speak volumes. Your adult child observes more than they admit, noticing the way you handle challenges, the calm with which you respond to frustration, and the consistency of your values in everyday life. Every decision made with honesty, every interaction carried with composure, and every boundary honored demonstrates the standards you hold for yourself and your relationships. Integrity shows that you stand firm in truth, even when it is difficult. Patience models the strength of restraint, teaching that influence grows through calm persistence, not force. Self-respect signals that your worth is inherent, not dependent on recognition or approval. These qualities, embodied consistently, create a magnetic energy that naturally draws acknowledgement and respect. Words may be ignored, advice may be dismissed, but the pattern of your behavior leaves a lasting impression. The small, repeated actions, the way you speak to others, how you manage conflict, the respect you show yourself and those around you, quietly shape the environment and the perception your adult child holds. Over time, this influence strengthens bonds without confrontation, teaching values through demonstration rather than argument. Leading by example is not about perfection, it is about authenticity and consistency. Every moment you act in alignment with your highest principles reinforces the truth of your character. Actions resonate in ways that words alone cannot, subtly inspiring respect, admiration, and connection. This is the path where influence flows naturally, and where your adult child begins to recognize the value of presence, patience, and integrity in ways that lectures and reminders never could. Connection grows quietly, often in the smallest gestures rather than in grand declarations. A brief message to check in, a simple act of thoughtfulness, or a shared moment of laughter can ripple far beyond what you see. These small acts of care are not about earning love or proving value. They are about showing presence, attention, and genuine interest. Consistency matters more than magnitude. One thoughtful word repeated over time builds trust and signals reliability, while a single grand gesture can be forgotten or misunderstood. Invite shared experiences, even simple ones, a cup of tea together, a walk, a conversation about something they enjoy. These moments create neutral, positive space where connection can grow without pressure or expectation. Express appreciation freely, not as a bargaining tool, but as a reflection of your awareness and gratitude for them as individuals. Recognize effort, acknowledge milestones, and celebrate the little things, even if they seem minor. Over time, these consistent gestures weave a pattern of respect and attentiveness that your adult child begins to feel and mirror, even subtly. The energy of care, when given without demand or condition, softens resistance and opens doors that have long been closed. Small acts also remind you of the bond that already exists, reinforcing patience and calm in the face of frustration. They demonstrate love not through obligation but through mindful, deliberate presence. In this quiet rhythm, trust strengthens, appreciation grows, and connection deepens. These moments become the fabric of your relationship, building a bridge that words alone cannot construct. The focus on consistency over spectacle ensures that respect, recognition, and warmth become embedded in everyday interaction, laying the groundwork for lasting harmony and a meaningful, evolving connection that your adult child cannot ignore. Control is an illusion, and holding tightly to expectations only breeds frustration. The more you try to force change, the more resistance grows. True influence begins when you release the need to direct outcomes and step into a space of acceptance. Accept your adult child as they are, not as you wish them to be. This does not mean ignoring harmful behavior or abandoning your values. It means engaging from a place of calm clarity rather than pressure or coercion. Acceptance opens the mind and softens the heart. It creates room for respect to emerge naturally. When you stop pushing, the energy shifts, tension decreases, defensiveness fades, and subtle doors begin to open where walls once stood. Expectations, especially unspoken ones, often act like invisible chains, binding both parent and child in cycles of disappointment. Letting go of them frees your energy, allowing you to respond with presence and patience rather than frustration or disappointment. This shift also models a powerful lesson. Respect is earned through authenticity, not demanded through control. Adult children sense this energy and begin to mirror it in their own behavior, gradually replacing resistance with recognition. Release also cultivates inner peace. When you stop measuring their actions against a set standard, you reconnect with your own worth and your own values, independent of external validation. Each moment of acceptance is a moment of influence, quietly stronger than any argument or lecture. By letting go of control and releasing rigid expectations, you create space for natural growth, mutual understanding, and the emergence of respect. In this subtle, patient way, relationships begin to transform. Not because behavior is forced, but because hearts are allowed to open freely, guided by the quiet, steady energy of acceptance and unwavering presence. Transformation unfolds slowly, like water shaping stone over time. Changing your relationship with an adult child does not happen overnight, and expecting instant results only breeds disappointment. Patience is the quiet power that sustains your efforts, allowing subtle shifts to take root and grow without pressure or force. Every moment of calm, every act of understanding, and every consistent gesture contributes to a larger pattern that your child begins to feel, even if they do not immediately acknowledge it. Persistence reinforces this rhythm. Small, steady actions repeated over time create trust, demonstrate reliability, and establish a foundation for respect that cannot be shaken by occasional resistance or indifference. Watch carefully for subtle changes, a softened tone, a small expression of gratitude, a willingness to listen or engage where there was once dismissal. These moments, often overlooked, signal progress and reveal the impact of your presence, patience, and integrity. Celebrate these shifts quietly within yourself, knowing that the energy you maintain is influencing the relationship in ways words alone cannot. Understand that setbacks may occur, but they are part of the natural ebb and flow of growth. Patience is not passive, it is active attention, careful observation, and consistent engagement without forcing outcomes. Persistence is not stubbornness, it is commitment to a path of respect, understanding, and gentle influence. Over time, this combination reshapes patterns of interaction, slowly replacing tension with connection, frustration with recognition, and distance with warmth. The transformation may appear gradual to the eye, but it is profound in its effect. Every day you show patience and remain steadfast, you are planting seeds of trust, respect, and appreciation that will eventually bloom, creating a foundation for a deep, enduring, and mutually respectful relationship with your adult child. Your love, wisdom, and presence matter more than you realize. Even when it feels unseen, every calm word, every act of patience, and every small gesture of care shapes your relationship in ways that ripple far beyond what you can measure. Transformation begins not with grand gestures, but with one small intentional change you make today, listening a little deeper, setting a gentle boundary, or simply showing your presence with quiet confidence. Start now and let that first step ignite a shift that grows over time, guiding your relationship toward respect, understanding, and connection. If this message resonates, like this video and subscribe to Shaolin Divine Flow, where ancient wisdom meets everyday life, guiding you toward harmony, strength, and lasting influence. Remember, change begins in your energy, in your mindset, and in the small choices you make each day. Step forward with patience, lead with love, and watch the unseen threads of your care transform into a bond that endures deeply and beautifully for years to come.